After a bit of a roller coaster year and a lot of changes to mortgage rules and interest rates, 2024 finished strong with prices higher than where we started the year. In this video, I'm going to tell you what happened with the Durham region real estate market in December 2024 and give you a recap of the year overall so that you know the real numbers and can be confident in making the best decisions for you and your family. My name is Vilija Truelove. I'm a local Durham region real estate agent. And if you're moving to or within the Durham region or the surrounding areas, you can set up an appointment through my calendar link, which is in the description below, or just send me a text or an email to start the process and see how I can help you buy or sell your home. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. So we saw only 404 sales in December. This is way down from the 739 sales in November. It's normal to see a decrease in sales in December. We see a lot of buyers and sellers choosing to pause their searches and sales, take a break over the holidays, and wait until the new year to start things back up. If we compare this number to a year ago, we had 468 sales in December 2023. So we are still down from that number, but it doesn't seem as crazy of a drop as when we compare it to November or December, for example. Looking at the year overall, the number of sales peaked in April at 948, and we saw it trend downward until September, which had 672 sales, back up to 888 in October, and then back down for November and December. We saw some pretty big changes last year that help a little bit with buyer affordability and confidence. First, interest rates started to come down. The Bank of Canada made its final rate announcement on December 11th, which cut its key interest rate to 3.25%, and this was its fifth consecutive cut of the year. We also saw changes to the mortgage rules in December. So first, there's now an increased price cap for insured mortgages. So the new down payment requirement is 5% on the first $500,000 plus 10% on the remainder between $500,000 and now up to $1.5 million. It used to be anything over $1 million required 20% down. Another big change is expanded eligibility for 30-year amortizations to all first-time buyers for owner-occupied properties. This means lower monthly payments or possibly qualifying for a higher mortgage amount for buyers that choose the 30-year amortization. So as an example, when you have a $750,000 mortgage at 4% interest and a 25-year amortization, your monthly payment is about $3,945. Make that a 30-year amortization and your payment is about $3,566. That's about $380 a month less, which can help the budget a lot. Yes, it means having the mortgage for longer, but for a lot of young families especially, that lower monthly payment is a lot more important than trying to pay off the mortgage a few years faster. So we'll have to see if those changes are enough to bring out the buyers in 2025. I'm expecting to see a pickup in sales this year, but we'll have to wait and see. New listings also decreased dramatically from 1,198 to only 486. So way fewer new listings coming on the market means that active listings also decreased further. Active listings is the total number of available listings on the MLS at the end of the month. And this went from 1,817 in November down to only 1,242 in December. So the inventory is quite low right now. And this could be one of the main reasons we saw such a jump in price from November to December. Because if you're out looking for a home in December, you're a serious buyer and you had fewer homes to choose from. The average price in the Durham region for all home types in December 2024 was $930,207. In November, it was $904,226. So we've increased by $25,981. This is a big picture number. It looks at all home types, detached, semis, condos, in all of the Durham region. Every home type and neighborhood will be different, so reach out if you want specifics about what's happening in your area. Comparing prices to a year ago, we're up pretty significantly from the $860,000, $622,000 average we saw in December 2023, an increase of almost $70,000 on average. Looking at specific areas in Durham, again, for all home types, Pickering saw an increase of about $19,000. Ajax saw a decrease of almost $45,000. Whitby saw the biggest increase of about $135,000. Usually when we see that much of a jump month to month, it means that we saw a few extra high price sales, and that can skew the average. Oshawa saw a slight decrease of about $3,400 and Clarington a decrease of approximately $8,000. So this has been the theme for 2024. Through the months, we saw price increases in some areas, decreases in others. Overall, prices held pretty steady through the year. If we go back to January, we started the year at an average of $894,825. Prices climbed slowly but steadily until June, when we hit the peak in prices at an average of $956,428. Prices then slowly but steadily decreased until October, when the average price was at $888,914. Back up slightly in November, and then up in December to $930,207 to finish off the year. So through all the ups and downs, we're now sitting $35,382 above where we started the year. The sale to list price ratio continues to hold at 100%. So most houses are still getting their asking price or close to it. Some are still going into multiple offers and getting above asking, and then you'll find homes selling below asking as well. Average listing days on market did increase quite a bit to 30 days from 24. So things are taking a little longer to sell. And then property days on market is what we see when we combine all of the recent listings for a property into one stat. So if a property has been listed more than once, this number takes that into account. Property days on market increased to 46 from the 41 that we saw in November. So what type of market are we in? The numbers we look at to help us decide our first months of inventory, which increased to 3.1 from 2.5. Lower months of inventory is considered a seller's market. In between is a balanced market. Higher is a buyer's market. Most would consider a balanced market to be between 4 to 6 months of inventory. Some will say balanced market starts at 3 months. So this number suggests we are in or getting into a balanced market. I'd say that's how it's likely to feel if you're a buyer or a seller out there right now. Sales to new listings ratio is another number we look at, and that divides the number of sales by the number of new listings. We were at about 61.7% for November and went way up to 83.1% for December. This number actually suggests that we're in a strong seller's market territory. Typically around 50%, between 40 and 60 is considered a balanced market. Lower is a buyer's market and higher is a seller's market. Because we saw such a decrease in new listings, this number shot up quite a bit. For the most part, it's not going to feel like a very strong seller's market out there. In the majority of areas, it's going to feel more balanced, though you will see some highly desirable areas and homes still going multiple. So, what does this all mean for you as a buyer or a seller? As I've said many times, the Durham region real estate market continues to show itself to be a good investment, especially over the long term. I don't think this is necessarily the type of market where you want to buy and sell within the same year. Although if flipping is something you want to do and you have the expertise to do it, there are some deals to be had right now. But for the majority of families looking for a home to live in, if you bought last year, you're good. You likely didn't build a whole ton of equity, but an increase of about 4% over the year is really not bad. Plus, you've paid down your own mortgage instead of the landlord's. Even without seeing dramatic increases in prices, over a 5-year period, when you look at the example I gave earlier, with a $750,000 mortgage at 4% interest and a 30-year amortization, after 5 years, you've paid off about $72,000 of the principal on your mortgage. Add on any increase in value, and you're in a pretty good place. What will happen in 2025 is hard to know. We have the new mortgage rule changes. Interest rates are expected to continue to come down, so we could see buyer confidence continue to go up. Right now, inventory is still quite low, but we will start seeing more sellers putting their homes on the market as we get more into the new year and closer to the spring. And even with a low inventory, it's still easier for buyers in many cases right now. They can often negotiate and not have to compete with other buyers a lot of the time. Many sellers are choosing to price where property value lies and take offers anytime rather than underpricing and setting an offer date. And days on market is up. So you might even be able to take a little bit of extra time in making your decision. Although I expect days on market to go back down now that we're out of the holiday season. When making a decision about whether it's the right time to make a move, the best thing you can do is look at your specific situation and your finances. If you're financially ready and you want to buy right now, it could be a really good time to get into the market or to make the move up to your next home. It's so hard to time the market. Of course, everyone wants to sell high and buy low, but the reality is that it's really hard to predict when we're going to hit the bottom or the top of the market. So base it on what works for you and your situation. The first step would be to contact your real estate agent for a consultation. If you're in the Durham region or the surrounding areas and you want to set that up, just click my calendar link below. At the consultation, we'll talk about the home buying process, look closely at your financial situation, see if buying actually makes sense for you right now, and I answer all of your questions. And you'll also want to get a full mortgage pre-approval. This will tell you exactly how much of a mortgage you can afford and what it will actually cost you monthly, as well as getting you a rate hold. If you need or want to sell right now, you want to price your home based on the current market conditions in your neighborhood. You also want to look at what's happening around you when deciding whether you should price low and try for multiples, or whether pricing at market value is the right call. As always, you want your home to show its absolute best and to stand out from your competition. Remember that people are shopping for everything online now, and that includes homes. So you need to make sure they're excited to come and see your house. You do this by making sure it shows its best, having professional photos and videos taken, and marketing it online, not just on the MLS, but on places like YouTube. A good video can make all the difference in getting that buyer through your door. If you're buying and selling, remember that typically you're doing both in the same type of market. So it does tend to even out. You'll need to decide whether buying or selling first makes sense. This will be different for everyone. But your finances are the first thing to consider when you're trying to decide what to do. And then look at how quickly homes are selling in your neighborhood, as well as how easy it's going to be to find the home that you want based on your requirements. There's a lot to consider, but making the move in a slower market can often be easier overall for people. If you'd like to talk through your situation and see if it makes sense for you to make a move right now, or if you just have a question, you can set an appointment on my calendar or send me a text or an email, and we can set up a time to talk. I'm always here to help. Thanks so much for watching.